Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
All right, we'll start with the official release of the non-conference basketball schedule. I mean, to be honest with you, I really have to look at it.
Well, the non-con will start.
I mean, I could do it off the top of my head. What do you?
Yeah, some would call this the Steve Jones and Kyle F. trifecta here. There's three Connecticut teams.
Yeah, there are, have I known about it for months? That's why I can do it off the top of my head. They're going to open with Fairfield on Monday the 3rd at the Jordan Center. Then Saturday, they're going to go to New Haven. Now, you're like, they're playing New Haven. New Haven is transitioning from 2 to 1. They are going to replace St. Francis in the Northeast Conference. Penn State has a 4-year deal with them. The first game is there. The next 3 are here, and there's no money involved. All right? That's one of the key parts to it. All right? Then Johnny Price is going to bring Navy in here. Former Penn State assistant coach, was an assistant Ed DeChellis. When Ed retired, they elevated JP to the job at Navy. It's a veteran team. And it's being played, by the way, Navy on Veterans Day on Tuesday.
November 11th.
The 11th. So then they're going to go to Philadelphia to play at the
Xfinity Mobile
Arena, which is like the new name. They change the name out every 6 months. So they're going to play LaSalle. That'll be on a Saturday. You're saying, well, how are you going to do this, Steve? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Then they have Tommy Amaker is going to bring Harvard in here on Wednesday, the 19th of November. Then another Saturday game. This one's a Mohegan Sun. This one everybody knew about for a long time. It got announced months ago.
Yeah, 22nd against
Providence. It's a game with Providence down at the Mohegan Sun. Boston University will be here on Tuesday, the 25th, Thanksgiving week, to play at the Jordan Center. Harvard and Boston University, like, why are they playing them? They're part of the same tournament as Providence. Okay, so those are the extra games. Now, that stuff like that goes away next year.
This is the final year of it.
It's the final year where, if you play in one of these tournaments, you can get to 31 games. That's going away. They're going to let you just go to 32 games starting next year. But you're still going to play in these tournaments because it's just easier to schedule when you do it. Sacred Heart will be at the Jordan Center on Saturday the 29th. You're saying, Steve, a home game, you can do that? No, I got a game at Rutgers that day.
Wrong.
Then Campbell will be here on Tuesday the 2nd of December. Then there's the gap. Like, why the gap? There'll be 2 Big Ten games in there somewhere.
Last year it was Purdue and it was Northwestern?
No, it was
Purdue and... Purdue is here.
Rutgers.
It was at Rutgers.
Purdue at Rutgers. They will play Pitt on Sunday, the 21st, at the Giants Center.
In Hershey.
And I remember when they scheduled it, Pat Dorney looked at me. He says, well, that's a playoff weekend. I said, yeah, but it's Sunday. He says, they don't play the playoff on Sunday. He goes, okay, good. They were like, I'm missing a few games.
Yeah.
And then they have UNC Central on Monday, the 29th. Of December. So, they'll do that after Christmas, and then they'll set up the Big Ten schedule. The Big Ten schedule will be released, what's today, the 22nd? I'd say in 4 weeks, the Big Ten schedule will be released. Right around the 18th, 19th, 20th of September is where the Big Ten schedule
a little less than
released.
a month away.
There's no TV slated on any of these yet because they don't have times assigned yet. All the TV stuff will come out when they release the Big Ten schedule. Then all the TV information will come out for every game.
I'm just heartbroken because every Connecticut game is when there's Penn State football, so we can't be there.
Yeah.
I'm heartbroken. Yeah. They're going to New Haven, my home, and they're going to Mohegan, close to your home. They're going to our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
It's Dick Girardi will enjoy himself, hopefully.
When he and I talked about this back in May, he was not a happy camper. He said to me, he says, how many games do you miss? I said, I didn't schedule them on Sundays or Saturdays. They did.
So you were saying he's not a fan of Connecticut is what you're saying.
No, he's just not a fan about the Saturday games. In other words, if they played New Haven on Friday night,
then you
could
say
they did, I'd go do the New Haven game, come back and do the game here.
New Haven's all of 4.5, 5 hours from here.
Right. It's an easy drive. It's not that there was, especially at night.
It's 84, and then it's pretty much straight shot to here. Or New Haven would be 95.
I would take 95 and
95,
go over the GW Bridge.
Yeah.
And then pick up 80 from there.
Yeah. But you've got options, and it's an easy shot, 5 hours. So a bunch of Connecticut teams, 2 games in Connecticut, 3 teams from Connecticut.
Right. Exactly.
A lot of Connecticut action in there.
Yeah, it's just the way it goes. And New Haven's going to be on 3 more years after that. All will be here. Now, that's not going to intrigue anybody, but look, you're going to have a 32-game schedule next year. You've got to be able, the non-conference scheduling part is extremely difficult for some people, not a lot, but some people to wrap their heads around. It's non-conference, they don't play anybody, blah, blah, blah. It's like, Pat Kraft and I were talking about this the other day. Jerry's name came up, wasn't good. Yeah,
banned fan from the stands, something like that.
No, the word stalker was used. But we were talking about this. I said, what do you expect them to do? Play Alabama, Clemson, and USC in 3 consecutive weeks? I said, well, what do you let's play Alabama, Texas, Clemson to start the season. This goes back to the point I made about Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC in 2021. They said, wow, what a power conference. Look at the power of it, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, guess what? I said, when they play a schedule of 8 conference games on a single day, I said, guess what you're going to have? 8 losers. Right? So you can be powerful all you want, but it's not going to translate maybe into a great record because of how difficult your conference schedule is. Same thing with this. This schedule is tailored to this team. Okay? It's a young team. It's a young team with a lot of parts coming together that haven't been together. Because I believe today is International Orientation Day. I believe this is the day where the 2 European players come in. I'll get a chance to meet them on Wednesday. They're doing an event on Wednesday I'm going to go to, and I'll get a chance at least to meet them there because I've never seen them play. And you still have a lot that has to come together. So you're playing Pitt. You're playing Providence. So you've got an ACC team, and you've got a Big East team in there. Okay, fine. Now you start putting the other parts together. I mean, Harvard normally is pretty good. Navy is a veteran team coming off a Patriot League championship game appearance. They have all 5 starters back.
So it's not going to be an easy game.
So in other words, it's a great situation for JP to take over down at Navy. Ed and I talked about this, because Ed really wanted him to get the job. And he said, Steve, I feel like I left him a team that will get him off to a good start. And I said, which I agree with, because I watched that team play last year. I mean, they're a good team. That's a good third game of the season to play. Other teams, like Campbell and so forth. But before you get to the first of the year, you'll have games with Providence, Pitt, and 2 Big Ten games. That's 4 of your games before you get to Christmas. Before you get to Christmas, those are 4 of the games that you will have. And that's going to be, a big part of it. As time goes and you get more of a veteran team, you can then put together more of a veteran schedule. There is no need to go out. I'll give you an example. Penn State had a young team, 2012, 2013, something like that. No, it was 2011, 2012.
Okay.
2011, 2012. They were in a tournament at Mohegan Sun. The first game of the tournament was against Kentucky.
Ooh.
Anthony Davis, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. That team won the national championship that year.
They went undefeated that year, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Anthony Davis didn't go undefeated?
No, they did not. The last undefeated team in college basketball was Indiana in 1976.
Okay, never mind.
No, okay. But they won the national title. Great team. And before the first half was over with, they ran off 25 unanswered points until John Graham had a layup to end the first half. Now, to their credit, they came back the next day and beat South Florida, a team that made the NCAA tournament. But do you need a game like that at that stage when you have a young team? No. Conversely, when Penn State played at Kentucky in 2000, November of 2000, the 2000-2001 season, Penn State had a veteran team that went to Rupp Arena, and they were good enough to get to the Sweet 16 that year, right? So, I mean, you schedule based on what your non-conference schedule has to be based on the team that you have at the time. Football is a little different in non-conference scheduling because this non-conference schedule was put together years ago.
And as we said, and you brought up, Pat Kraft scheduled this schedule when he was at Temple, and Penn State plays Temple.
Yes.
And he was at Temple.
Temple. Penn State will get Syracuse on there in a couple of years because now we'll get to the SEC going to 9 conference games.
Yes, and that is where we get to go to next. It was announced yesterday. We have not discussed it yet on the show. SC will officially play a 9-game conference schedule starting in 2026, a move they quote-unquote have been considering for years. And it was approved by SEC presidents and chancellors after a recommendation by the ADs in the conference. And it will match them up officially with, well, everybody else. And apparently...
Well, except for the ACC.
Except for the ACC. SEC teams are still required to schedule at least one additional high-quality non-con game from the ACC, Big Ten, or Big 12, or Notre Dame every season.
See, that is the key part. And that is the part I think that Penn State fans would like to see adopted in the conference. Now, Penn State, this is the first time under James Franklin they have not played a Power 4 team in the non-con. It's the first time. Remember, Penn State has opened the season the last 4 years at Wisconsin, at Purdue, home with West Virginia, at West Virginia. They have played either a conference game or a Power 4 team to open the conference in each of the last 4 years. And that is that's what they've done. This is actually the aberration. It doesn't matter. In the end, are you still there? There are 3 right now, currently 3 teams from the Big Ten ranked in the top 8 in the country. Well, Penn State's playing the other 2. So in the end, Penn State will have a strength of schedule based on the conference schedule. They've got to play at Iowa. Okay, they've got to play at Michigan State. They've got Nebraska at home, which should be a good team. They have to play home with Indiana. They have to play at Ohio State. They have to play Oregon. So they've got games on there. They have to play at UCLA. Now, you may not think that, oh, well, it's no big deal. You know, every game's a big deal. And the Big Ten is a conference of depth. For the SEC, it's the right move to make. It now is one of the stipulations that the Big Ten's been pushing for in the negotiations over what to do with the college football playoff. Well, they've done it. But the fact that they also want to put a Power 4 non-con in there, it's something the Big Ten should consider.
Yes.
But I will consider it once I'm talking about the Big Ten point of view, okay? Instead of 5-11, I'll consider if we do the automatic qualifiers.
And that's the next step to this.
Right. If you do the automatic qualifiers, then we're definitely going to go. I'm talking about the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Right. And it may be SEC against Big Ten.
Some sort of challenge type of thing.
Right.
Like that.
I mean, they tried to do this years ago with the Pac-12. And the Pac-12 and the Big Ten were going to have a basketball football challenge. Jim Delaney put it together. I'm trying to think if Scott was the commissioner of the Pac-12. Then he probably was. And they were going to play at neutral sites, like semi. In other words, they talked about, hey, instead of playing maybe at the Coliseum, you play at Dodger Stadium or something different, right?
Yeah.
They were going to play triple headers in basketball at 4 different sites. This is what they proposed. What derailed it was the Pac-12 was already playing 12 conference games at the time. The Big Ten at the time was playing 8.
Mm.
And what derailed it was Stanford and USC had long-term contracts with Notre Dame.
So they couldn't fit it in the schedule.
So they said, look, we can't put another game like that in there. Right? And that is what ended up derailing it because of the Notre Dame series with USC and Stanford and the degree of difficulty and the lack of openings in their schedules because of it. And so they tried this a while ago. Now, in basketball, it's the Big Ten and ACC for a long time. Right now, you sort of have one with the Big East, the Gavitt games, whatever. But, at some point, I can see a Big Ten SEC challenge if the conferences are guaranteed automatic qualifiers.
If you're getting, as we discussed, the rumored 28, which was brought up by somebody, if hypothetically that ends up being a thing, they end up getting, was it 7, I believe? Then all of a sudden you say, yeah, we'll play a 10th game. That's a difficult one every single season, regardless. We'll make it an SEC Big Ten challenge. That way everyone's got, quote unquote, 10 tough games, regardless. That, yes, sometimes you're going to play a Rutgers or a Maryland a season who may not be the best, or Purdue, but they're still, quote unquote, tough games because it could hypothetically be Ohio State instead.
Sure. So that's something to look at potentially down the road. Will it come to pass? I don't know. We'll see. But it's something to think about because it's something that was put on the table a while ago if the SEC went to 9 games. Now, the other part is, do they get more money from ESPN? Because ESPN did not have an escalator in the contract. But for ESPN, they are guaranteed more inventory. Because some of those non-conference games that are going to be eliminated may have been a game, say somebody decided to play a Big 12 team on the road, would be a game that might be on Fox and not on ESPN. Maybe. You still have, now, for some of the schools in the SEC, here's going to be one of the issues in terms of playing the Big Ten. Florida already is going to play Florida State. Kentucky's already going to play Louisville. South Carolina's already going to play Clemson.
And that's 3.
Right.
There's 3 teams that already have other games.
And there's a fourth one. I'm trying to think who the fourth one is. Georgia's going to play Georgia Tech.
Okay.
So they're already locked in for their Power 4 game. The question is, do you lock them in for a Big Ten game? Now, there are also more... and the other issue they have is there's more Big Ten teams than there are SEC teams, 18 to 16.
Penn State, at least coming forward in 27-28, begins that Syracuse thing, so that knocks out theirs, the ACC, and so on and so forth.
In terms of being a Power 4. Now, we'll see how Pat wants to schedule in conjunction with James moving forward, because, the head coach is going to, when you have a long-term head coach, you're trying to
schedule out.
Right? Because, look, Alabama was the master of this for years. Alabama would play a non-conference schedule that was, to the point their fans were complaining about it. Remember, Saban was like, I can't believe, they were getting empty seats, no enthusiasm in the stadium, and Saban called out the fans. Well, they were the masters at getting a non-con to start the season and playing it on a neutral field. Let's play Florida State opening game. Remember the quarterback got hurt in that game, Francois?
Yeah, DeAndre Francois.
Yeah, he got hurt in that game. They would play a game like that to open the season. Alabama, big game, but it was in Dallas, or, Arlington.
Yeah.
Right, in Arlington or something like that.
Like I pulled up the 2015 Alabama schedule. They played Wisconsin at Arlington and AT&T.
Right.
Okay.
So they went from 2011 to, they played Texas in 22 at Texas?
In 2022, they played at Texas, yes.
Okay. They went from 2011 to 22. When they played Texas, it was the first time they played a non-conference game on the road since Penn State at Beaver Stadium in 2011.
Woof.
Right?
Woof.
First time. They went 11 years. In other words, they played non-conference games. They played some good teams in the non-con, but they always played them on a neutral field.
They made it so they still had some advantage.
Right. So, and not only that, the neutral field was in the South. Let's play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta.
And they're Alabama.
Let's play at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. They always played that kind of game. They went from 2011 at Beaver Stadium to 2022 at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium. 11 years in between playing a road non-conference game in somebody else's stadium. But I'm saying these are the little tricks of the trade where you sit back and like nobody talks about it. But
it's like, you're playing Wisconsin, you're playing Texas, you're playing whomever.
Right.
But.
Right. Now, eventually, you notice they did play at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Once Nick Saban got to the latter stages of his career with great teams, they started getting more adventurous with their scheduling. Georgia's very much like this. That's why the Notre Dame thing was such an aberration. Penn State and Georgia came very close to getting a series, and instead something fell through on it, so they ended up playing Auburn. All right. And when you sit there and you look at non-conference scheduling, like, again, this is what bothers me about ESPN's coverage of college football over and over again. Why does a lowly talk show host in State College, Pennsylvania, have to be the one to point this out when the big national guys who are like the voices of college football don't have the guts to point it out? They don't have the guts to do it. They don't even do their own. It's like, do some research. Look into it. You got like 5,000 people working for you. It's a story, right? They never point out the next to last game. They kind of laugh about it, hardy, har. Guess what? The College Football Playoff Committee is voting this week. You know what I'd do? I told you what I'd do. If I'm on the committee, you're 13th this week. And then and I'd go on TV and say, why'd you rank Alabama 13th this week on your personal ballot? I said, because they played Mercer and disrespected us when we were voting. Doesn't mean I can't put them back to 2 next week by beating Auburn. Right? But for 1 week, I'm going to send them a message saying, you want to play games with your conference schedule? Don't play games when we're voting.
It's not going to fly.
Right? It's not going to fly at all. And but these are the little games, the little tricks that they play in the SEC. I mean, you think that if you sit down and look at the history of SEC scheduling, right? Georgia and Alabama are in the same conference. You'd be shocked at how few times they've played.
Yeah, it's not a lot. They only really play when it gets to tournament season, and they're playing in the title games.
I mean, they played some regular season games, but like when they were doing the division thing, you played everybody in your division 6 games. You had one crossover game. Well, Alabama's crossover game was with Tennessee. That left them one availability to move around once in a while and play somebody. Okay. These are all the little tricks that the SEC has put together on its conference scheduling. Now, part of it's brilliant, right? And I praised this part for years. They have staggered the early part of their schedules. Florida playing Tennessee like the second week of the season or something like that, where it looked like where the SEC had a huge game every week of the regular season. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
But they played 8 games, and then all of a sudden, it usually ended up being like one of the last weeks. It's Alabama versus Citadel. And you're like, it's November.
Exactly.
Or last season, as you said, Mercer. Where it's like, it's November 16th, and you're playing Mercer.
Which, by the way, like I understand you played a tough, hard season to get. I understand that. My issue is, and I never had an issue with it until the College Football Playoff Committee started voting. Well, when they started voting on this, you can't play a game like that when they're voting. We're trying to weed out and get the 12 teams.
I don't want to know that you beat Chattanooga 66-10. It doesn't do me any good.
In November.
Yeah. It doesn't do me anything.
Now, is it good for you because you get a game like that and it's a walkover, sure. I mean, that's smart on their part. I get it. But if you're trying to play for the whole thing, as a committee, you have to send messages.
Yes.
Right? And I would send the message. I would drop them down to 13th and make ESPN talk about it for a week. Force them to talk about it. Because they don't have because to be honest with you, they'd rather have Pat McAfee, kicking field goals. Okay? Instead of being serious about what's going on with some of the issues in sports. Okay? I mean, this has been an issue for a long time. But because they have a contract with the SEC, they're not going to go against anything the SEC does. I mean, just like their partnerships now with the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NHL, and this long-term deal with the NBA. What kind of journalistic coverage are you going to get from the worldwide leader? I mean, what are you going to get?
It has been brought up and discussed. And it is going to be interesting going forward, which is also why I know ESPN's launch yesterday of their brand new streaming app, where you can also get games from Fox and you can get games from everybody, where they're kind of partnering to put it all onto ESPN as the one big quote unquote streaming hub.
Right.
Where all of a sudden you can get most of your college games there. Okay. Are they going to start talking about everybody now?
I don't know how this is going to work.
No one really does.
I mean, in other words, I mean, just like, what will they carry that the over-the-air won't carry? I don't know.
I believe it's a streaming package. They're going to have all the ESPN stuff, and you can also buy on the additions of I also want to watch some of the Fox stuff. Instead of, let's say, it being $30 for Fox, I don't know what the price is. It might be, I think it's like $20, but you have to pay for ESPN's thing already to get it.
Yeah, but in other words, if I'm paying my cable bill, am I still getting the same service?
Well, the point is you wouldn't pay for your cable bill, you pay for this. That's the point. It's meant to be a streaming thing. ESPN's doing their own direct to consumer.
Right, I understand that, but are they dropping off the cable?
No, they're staying on cable. They're giving you another option though. They're trying to get into the streaming game to a bigger extent than they have with ESPN Plus.
I thought that was ESPN Plus already.
They are going full direct to consumer here. They're going big into this, and it is expanding. You can now get other things, other sports, other items by paying extra, and it's growing.
I mean, for example, like the NHL, and I love watching hockey, but like they put a lot of games on ESPN Plus. I never watched any of them. Right, a lot of Big 12 games went to ESPN Plus. Right, I didn't watch those either. I just watch what's on TV. Because the only streaming package that I have to watch sports is Amazon Prime, and that's because I like watching Thursday Night Football.
I do want to give you, by the way, the most interesting
I just don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah.
In other words, I'm talking about the logistics of what will be on that would interest me versus what would be on cable. Because I don't think they're dropping off cable.
No, they're not. They're just giving you more ways to watch.
Now, if it's a way to supplement, okay. And, I mean, you do have to question, one big question I have, will we get to a day within the next 10 years where the Super Bowl is streaming only?
There's a chance. Speaking of streaming and speaking of broadcast rights, we didn't discuss this last time. I didn't get to this.
Right.
One of the biggest soccer leagues in the world, the Bundesliga, the German league, Bayern Munich, huge league. They have announced their UK streaming partners for this season.
Okay.
One of them, of course, they have BBC. They've got Sky Sports. They're with parts of those people, but they're not getting major money for their broadcast rights because the Premier League is so valued. It is the thing. It is what everyone cares about. The Bundesliga is trying to get into the market somehow.
Right.
In the UK, how are they doing it?
Which you can't blame them.
You can't blame them for it. They are partnering with YouTube content creator Mark Goldrich.
Okay.
He has a YouTube channel, That's Football. He made his name because he's a Manchester United fan, had a fan channel which has a few million followers. And so now every Friday, he will have one game streamed on his YouTube channel.
Okay.
So they are broadcast streaming it on there. And then there's another channel, The Overlap, which has some of England Internationals, Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Ian Wright. They're going to have games as well.
Right.
So the Bundesliga is partnering with YouTube now, like a YouTuber, a person, to stream their games. And my question I was going to ask you last week, which we didn't get to discuss, is something like this coming for certain sports leagues where they're going to start, because the point that Bundesliga is making here is he gets 20,000 people just into a random live stream at 8 p.m. on a Thursday to chat about something random for the day. Like, are we going to see, especially here in America, where there are a lot of creators who have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people watch them at a given time, partnering, because you see there's watch-alongs all the time.
Yeah,
we did them this past season.
Sure.
Like, are you going to see watch-alongs take place, but the game itself be allowed to be streamed? Like, is that coming for American sports?
Okay, so let's do this in a bigger picture for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Apple has really tried to get into the streaming world. They were the ones that put together the last package for the Pac-12, attempting to keep them together.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they wanted it exclusively. No over-the-air rights for anything. And that's where Oregon and Washington, as soon as that package was presented to them at the meeting, I think it was done that morning. Literally that same morning, Oregon and Washington were on the phone with the Big Ten saying, can you somehow make it happen? Because they had already been vetted 1 year earlier. So they had already gone through the vetting part of it. Can you make it happen? Because they didn't see a future. And also the number was like the number was 23 to 25 million per school. So that got rejected and off to the side. But Apple TV has done the Friday Night Baseball package now for a few years. They've done MLS now for a year. It's a 10-year deal. Neither one is successful. Apple is going to be getting out of Major League Baseball. All right. That's going to happen because it looks like NBC is going to get a Sunday night game. In all likelihood, Peacock will get the Friday night game. ESPN will get a midweek game. Netflix will probably get the Home Run Derby. Okay, now Netflix is obviously a streamer, but it's a Home Run Derby. Does it really matter?
More of an eventy thing
right?
versus
it's like okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
But Apple TV, now whether it's Apple TV's fault or not, on pure streaming, they haven't done well. The Friday night viewership is not great for baseball. Now, is that part baseball's fault, part Apple's fault? Maybe. Because that used to be an ESPN time slot. Right? MLS. Well, every once in a while, MLS shows up on TV, right? But Apple has the primary, including the championship. Like, so when I'm talking about prime streaming here, now when it comes to getting a game on, so you can get into the market, I think this is a heck of an idea by them.
Yeah.
Because the market in Great Britain is essentially closed to them. So can you do an end run? Why not try it? Do an end run.
Yeah.
Use the local announcers. Something. Right? And I think that's that part's brilliant because it gets them into the market without having to butt heads with Sky Sports to do it. But the streaming-only components in this country, except for Amazon Prime because they've got the behemoth, and it's going to be interesting to see how well they do with the NBA. But I think that's a good package for the NBA, right? It's it's just a package of games.
Yeah.
All right, to go with an over-the-air NBC, to go with ESPN, and so forth. The NBA was smart as to how they did this. The NFL was smart as they did. They took a package, a slice, and gave it to streaming. But if anybody were to get involved, like say their rival league to start up against the NFL, you really would have to do probably a streaming thing to get out of the gate. to do it. Same thing with any rival league that would show up, and I don't think rival leagues are showing up anytime soon. That era of the 60s and 70s is over with, and they're now just completely entrenched in what they're doing. But that's where I see, at least in the next 5 years, the role of streaming in this. You notice that the SEC does not, their streaming package, they've got SEC Network. The Big Ten has BTN. The ACC has ACC Network. The Big 12 does not. They still have a syndicated rights package. So in college sports, it's like ESPN Plus is doing a lot more games now, but it's not really.
So what I'm most intrigued by with this is when you look at the bigger leagues, as we've kind of talked about and brought up here, like the Bundesliga is a gigantic league.
Yes,
they're streaming, their rights in the U.S. are to ESPN. It's on ESPN Plus.
But keep in mind, they would be a competitor to the Premier League.
They would be a competitor to it. So that's where I then jump to, which is, let's say, as you said, you're a competitor league. You are Eurobasket, for instance, which is outside of the U.S., the biggest basketball league in the world.
Sure.
Let's say they wanted to try and get broadcasting rights in the U.S. I don't know right now who holds them. I've been trying to find it. I don't know. But let's say you're Real Madrid, but
streaming gets you into, because you can do that.
Yes, but that's my point. Let's say you're the Eurobasket and you want to get in, and you see someone like a Kai Cenat, one of the biggest streamers in the world. He's the third largest average viewership streamer in the world, biggest here in the U.S., averages 73,000 people watching him at a time.
That's fine.
Mark Goldridge gets about 25,000 in the UK. So you're sitting at 72, 73. And he's a big basketball. He loves basketball. He talks about it all the time. Yeah. Let's say the Eurobasket comes to him and does a broadcast package with him. Like, that could be a very big way to get new viewership, get untapped potential. But let's even say, for instance, you're the NBA. You have something that, like, just is not selling. Let's say you've tried to sell a broadcast packages, but let me my point out first.
Sure.
So let's say a broadcast package is not selling, you can't really get it to anywhere, and it's sitting in the ether, and the amount of money you would make on it would be negligible. It would be okay, we're making a little money, but like not enough to warrant it. Could you in that case turn to Kai Cenat in this case, let's say, and say, let's say it's like it's a Friday night baseball type of thing, as you said. So Friday night basketball. It's once every single week, every Friday, there's one game that's on that he's going to stream and cover and broadcast for the league. Well, would they do that?
The NBA may do that they're trying to do everything they can to have inroads in Europe. They already have NBA Africa. Okay. Do you do streaming packages to showcase NBA Africa? Do you do streaming to showcase NBA Europe? I don't know is there NBA Asia?
NBA Asia, let's find out. NBA Asia.
Yeah, streaming would open the door for you. But again, you have to remember, when you do this, you have to have the broadcast in English. You can't sit there and say, hey, let's do NBA Europe and I don't know, Rome is playing Paris, whatever. What are you going to take, the Italian feed, the French feed? And you may take that, but you're going to have somebody sitting here in the United States. You're not going to send anybody over to do it. Doing the game. The game's going to have to be done. There's a lot of parts to this because you're going to have it done in English because people have to know what the heck they're watching and who they're watching.
It is interesting, at least, to look at this because this news came out.
And the same thing with what he's doing with the German league. It's going to have to be done in English.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's the point. Is there are English broadcasters already, so I'm assuming they have whatever the broadcasters are. Their broadcast is also then going to be fed to here. So whatever broadcast crew it is going to come to that. But that is really interesting. Yeah. That this package was announced and it was like, whoa! Like a YouTuber is getting streaming rights for a game. Like that on its face sounds insane, but where we are today, it makes sense. And it's like the Bundesliga knows they have a great product. They understand the world is going to a pretty big extent to streaming. Like you will sit there and have watch-alongs going on where he averages for his Manchester United channel, United Stand, for live streams on its own for games, because he live streams all the different games. He is there talking. Just you can see just him, and he's got a screen up with who's playing and what.
Right.
Like his most recent one for United got up to 600,000 views for someone literally watching a match.
That's great.
Like incredible numbers. So they saw this and said, let's jump in on this. Like this might be a good thing if we, like, as I said, they may not be able to get the crazy amount from broadcasters because they have so many games and content. May as well try something like this, see how it goes. If it goes well, all of a sudden you build a new product, a new fan base with already built soccer fans. You know you're getting soccer fans with what they're doing. They know that.
Let me give you an analogy.
So it's interesting.
This is, to me, the equivalent of podcasting in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
You have over-the-air radio, you have satellite radio, and then there's podcasting. You have to have the ability to get, at some point, advertising to make this work. You just can't have, hey, I've got a ton of money, and I'm going to do my own channel. Some people can do that.
Mm-hmm.
That many people can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That many people can. Podcasting in this country has become more popular, including this, obviously.
Including us, yeah.
Okay, this is a podcast, and we have a viewer. But
hi, Jerry.
He's forced to. But in reality, how successful are the vast majority of podcasts?
Not very.
In reality, no, they aren't. The big ones like Joe Rogan and so forth are, to their credit, successful beyond words. But they also have a staff that puts together advertising and everything that goes with it to make it happen. You're going to have something like that because the sustainability of it is going to be limited. I think it's a great try. I think that if you're sitting there and saying, like, in terms of ideas, you know me, I always like people who think outside the box. This is a great thinking outside the box deal. I mean, this is really smart thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And you roll the dice and you hope that when you roll the dice, it catches on and then it becomes incredibly successful. And you don't know until you try it, and I give them a lot of credit for trying it because I think it is something worthy of trying.
Yeah, it's something worthy of trying. It is an interesting way to find an audience, and like it is a free entry to fans to your sport and to your league.
Right.
Which, for so many of these packages, if you want to watch the Premier League like I do, and I don't have cable, like I have to watch through Peacock, and I only get so many games from it.
Right.
So they're basically being like, okay, we're not going to give you everything, but we're going to give you an entryway. And I know in one of their YouTube things, they're also working with the English and Irish internationals, Roy Keane, Ian Wright, Gary Neville, with their YouTube show, and they're broadcasting the first game, Bayern Munich versus RB Leipzig.
Good.
Bayern Munich has Harry Kane, English star, easy entryway into the league.
No question.
You know him. And it's smart. And it's just, I was intrigued by your thoughts on that.
It's an end run around trying to butt heads with a behemoth like Sky Sports, and I think that's smart. I mean, you look in this country. Let's take something that is not a competitor of Penn State football, but like Bucknell football. Bucknell football games, all their home games are on ESPN Plus. Now they use the Bucknell broadcasters. They use Doug Birdsong, and they use former Penn State quarterbacks coach Charlie Fisher, right? They're the broadcasters for it. Then they do a separate radio feed for home games. When they go on the road, those two do the radio on the road. But for home games, they're actually on ESPN Plus, which used to be called ESPN3. Right? That's their way of getting their product out there, and I think you're going to see more and more of that across the country, where people can see games like that, but it doesn't mean it's profitable either. And at some point, you have two pieces of paper that mean everything to you. This paper over here has the revenue on it. This paper over here has the expenses on it. You have to somehow balance those books, if not having the revenue paper be slightly higher than the expense paper.
Moving our way over to another YouTuber, Mr. Michael Irvin. He had Jerry Jones on his YouTube channel yesterday.
Wonderful.
Jerry Jones said he believed he made an offer to Michael Parsons that would have made him the highest paid guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL. And this is where I say, interesting, because, of course, people want guaranteed money. That is something everybody would like. Right now, if you take out Bosa, Nick Bosa's deal was signed this offseason, correct? Or was it 23?
No, 23.
Okay. So Nick Bosa's sitting at $170 million guaranteed. Or guaranteed now. My bad. I'm wrong. Highest guaranteed now is TJ Watt. His was signed this offseason. Justin Jefferson's was signed prior. So you'd have to get at least $90 million guaranteed. TJ Watt is at 108, so let's say it's $90 million guaranteed. Does that have the high annual value? Where's that number sitting at? Because $90 million guaranteed is cool, but if you're only paying him $33 million a year versus the $41 that Watt is now getting,
so what you do is, 5 years, $211 million.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Parsons should be looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
5 years, $211.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what does 511? What does 5 years, $211 get you? Just a shade under $42 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett, on his third contract,
mm-hmm.
set the bar at 40.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Watt, on his third contract, set the bar at
41.
approximately 41.
Mm-hmm.
400.5.
It's 41 on the dot.
Okay, $41 million. Okay. Mike is going to a second contract, younger player, less tread on the tires. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You set the bar at 42, so maybe slightly under that, 5 years, $211. It really isn't that complicated. Somewhere between a consistent and inconsistent quarterback, halfway in between, in Dak Prescott, an inconsistent to somewhat, at times, inconsistent wide receiver in CD Lamb. You've been paying these people money. This is your best defensive player. He is one of the top 5 defensive players in the NFL. Whatever rank you want to have, you want to rank him first, fifth, whatever, but he's one of the top 5 guys. And he's sitting there. Now, I realize he's under contract for this season, but it has become obvious approximately the number you need to pay him. I mean, in other words, they've already set the market for you. I didn't come up with 5 years, $211 out of the blue.
No.
Okay? Yeah. I came up with 5 years, $211 because guess what?
That's the number.
That's more than Garrett. And I mean, like, slightly more than Garrett, slightly more than Watt. Okay? That's what it's all about. And I don't understand what the issue has been with this and something it should have been. And this whole thing, like,
I'll tell you the issue. It's Jerry Jones. That's the issue here.
I thought we had a deal. Well, if you had a deal, how come nothing was signed? Obviously, they didn't think they had a deal. They'd have signed it.
Yeah.
Like, there's not like a signed contract from Micah Parsons that's been sitting on Jerry's desk from April. There was nothing signed. So I thought we had an agreement. You have an agreement when it's signed. Okay? An agreement when it is signed. Right? Well, there is no agreement. And now he's been out there playing. Now the question is going to be, I mean, he is under contract, but does he play next week against Philadelphia without an agreement? Now, again, he's under contract for this season. So, what do you do? And they've thrown a lot of money at a lot of players in Dallas for years. Some of it has not been spent well.
No.
Now, on the Dak Prescott point, I've made this point for a long time. Every time he gets another big contract, I mean, because he's made a lot of money. But I said, look, there are only 15 to 17 guys in this league that can really play quarterback at an NFL level. He is one of them. Now, is he one of the top 10 guys? Not so sure. I think he's probably in the 10 to 15 range. But he is one of the guys that can. So you've got to pay him because what is your alternative to not having him. I mean, in other words, what's your fallback? Okay, what's your fallback if you don't have Micah Parsons? Mm-hmm. Who do you get that's going to, step in and fill those shoes and be the guy that gets to the quarterback and
does what he does? And that's a great question.
And disrupts the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got one of the great, you made a brilliant draft choice because the Giants were stupid. Mm-hmm. Not the current regime.
Yeah, the current regime made a great choice.
I mean, all right. But the old regime, which is one of the reasons why there is a new regime, is because they fouled up the Devontae Smith draft pick. They were going to take Smith. The Eagles then made the pick. They swapped with Dallas, took Smith. I'm sitting there drafting night going, perfect, take Micah Parsons. Mm-hmm. No, the idiots went back and then took Kadarius Toney. Mm-hmm. I sat there that night and went, what are you doing? I said, that dude can't play.
I sit here sometimes, and in my head, I can visually and audibly hear the Vikings draft room when the Eagles took Jalen Reagor.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of Justin Jefferson. That is the type of mistake where they, at that time, tried to take the possibility of Reagor over the known commodity of Justin Jefferson. You knew he was going to come in and be a superstar, and you said, I don't know.
Could you imagine that?
Oh, imagine. What team would the Eagles have now? Would they? Great question.
I mean, they might have won the Super Bowl. Wait, they did.
Yeah, they did.
With the guys they ended up getting.
Yeah. And you know what the crazy part is, Steve? Justin Jefferson made his name in college football, and next week we're talking college football because it's back, week 0.
Tomorrow's week 0. Thank goodness.
0 is here.
And, for the next 10 Fridays, Jason Lord's gainfully employed.
With State High football back tonight on Bigfoot Country Legends, and I will be tuned on in listening to some State High football.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape. From college football to European soccer, Steve and Kyle cover it all on Sports Talk